A lot of people don't know what it really means to trust spirit or source or whatever you call it, God. A lot of people don't know what it means to trust, to really surrender and trust source. And I wish that a lot of people weren't set up like that, because once you actually surrender and you begin to trust source, you realize that you don't need anything outside of source. You realize that source makes it happen without that job. You realize that literally the way source works it out, you realize that the problems that you thought you had are literally nowhere near as big as you thought they were. Source literally makes a way out of no way. The way source moves, people consider it to be a miracle, even though it's just life. Because that's what we were put here for, to be in contact with source. We are a direct extension of source. So we were definitely put to be in contact with source. So I'm saying that to say, the problems wouldn't exist. The worry, the stress, the anxiety, none of that would exist if you learned to surrender and trust source. Okay? It's so many people that they may not have a job. And they may beat themselves up about not having a job because they feel like they're not doing anything. But honestly, that's the best mode to be in, to receive guidance from source. Which is why society has it set up to where you have to go and slave. Well, you don't have to, but it wants people to have this delusion that they have to go out and slave and work a job. By the time they get off, they're tired, don't even have time to think, don't even have time to relax, and just literally just be. It's set up like that for a reason. Because they don't want people to be in contact with source. They don't want people to have that relationship and that contact. So let go of the fear. Let go of the fear, because the Bible even says itself that God, source, spirit, has ways and means that your human vessel knows not of. So it's not your job on how it's going to get done, or how are things going to work out. You just do your job by taking the inspired action the source gives you. Meaning when you feel like, oh, let me go do this. Oh, let me go do that. Out of nowhere, that's source. Take that inspired action and literally just keep trusting the process. I know it does get scary. It does get scary. But honestly, when you go through so much and you find yourself with nothing, you realize that you have no choice then but to depend on source. And that's when source starts to show up and show out. Because for some reason, that's when most people are fully open and truly surrendered to source and the guidance of source. But it doesn't take for you to be down and out to have contact with source or to surrender to source. Your body is literally just your ego. Your body wants to stay safe. Your body wants to stay alive. So your body is fearful of doing certain things. It doesn't want to take risks because it's scared of the unknown. But Spirit knows all, so know that you are in good hands. You don't have to go out and slave at a job. You don't have to go and do things that you don't want to do and sell your soul. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is surrender. Surrender and trust Spirit. And strengthen your relationship with Spirit. Because one thing I've learned in life, and I'm only 24 years old, but one thing that life has taught me that has really like put me in this place where nothing can move me or shake me is that Source is always going to come through for me. Source has all of the answers. Literally, it's no reason for me to take thought on anything. On a spiritual level, it's no need for me to stress about anything. It's no need for y'all to stress about anything or take thought on anything. But you'll notice that as you progress on your journey and as you continue to walk with Source and trust Source, it will become a way of life for you. And the one thing that I want everybody that's watching this video to remember, the one thing that I've been taught within the past couple of years is to never stray from Source. To never stray. Because long as I have a relationship with Source, everything's going to be okay. There's no need for me to worry about anything. Literally, whether I have something or not. Source makes a way out of no way. Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a will that chooses to trust Source, trust me, there is a way. But never let anybody deter or distract you or make you feel like what you know about Source and the fact that Source is always going to come through regardless. Don't let anybody make you think that that is not so. Because if somebody can make you feel like that is not so, and the moment they do that, that kind of weakens your relationship with Source. Not kind of, that actually does weaken your relationship with Source, because then at that point, you start to no longer trust Source. And things start to go wrong. So, stay focused. Stay focused. Trust yourself. Trust Source, because Source will never lead you astray. Trust in that. Trust in the process. And give yourself and others grace along the way. Know that the things that appear to be giants to you are not as big as they seem. Let me show you something. This right here. You see how big that looks right now? Now bring it to its actual viewpoint, and you see how small it is? That's the same thing with these problems and these problems that y'all think y'all are having in life, and the things that are in your face that you think are going wrong and not working out. That's literally how small they are. Smaller than that. It's not as big as you think it is. Source is bigger than any and everything. So, that's all I have for you guys. That's all I wanted to come through and say. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay sane. Sending you guys infinite love, light, and blessings. If you haven't already, like this video and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys in the next one.